Here we are again.
It's been a bit. We're back.
How many weeks?
What, 2, 3?
No.
I don't know.
6.
6 weeks?
Well, maybe more.
Seemed like that. I know it's been a while.
We didn't do anything in June.
Oh. Wow.
And we're July.
Middle of July.
Middle of July, that's 6 weeks.
Yes, well, we've been busy.
We've been busy,
Yes.
but not the good kind of busy.
No, unfortunately not.
We have some bad news to talk about.
Me too. Hopefully it can help people if we talk about it.
Yes, but we will keep our friend in the clique anonymous,
Yes,
right?
correct.
But it's good to be here.
It is.
Good to see you again.
You too, sir. And
I'm
what a
happy you're
fabulous
here.
meal. I'm so stuffed I
Lasagna.
can hardly. Yes, I'm so stuffed I can hardly talk.
I know, man. I want to go to sleep.
So good. I food coma. Yes.
Yes, I understand, man. I understand. All right, that's our intro music right there, man.
Yes, sir.
So here we are. Today is July what?
The cheat 17th.
July 17th, 2022. Prost, my
Prost.
friend. So we've been away for a while. We had the most tragic thing that could happen to a friend,
A friend.
but to us too.
Yes.
Our friend tragically passed away,
Mm-hmm.
and as a result, we have not been able to make a podcast.
Yes. We've been dealing with it on our personal level and with that person and their family.
Yes,
And
and I have been unable to even hold a conversation.
yes, I'm happy we have a smile back on
Yes,
Mr.
yes.
Greg's face.
Thank you, John.
Yes.
This has been a tough one for me.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm glad we're back.
Yeah.
We're gonna miss our friend. It's not easy, but we had to take our hiatus
Yeah.
because of our loss.
Yes. And the fact that we also have lives outside of Big News with John and Greg.
Yes, we have lives outside of big news with John and Greg. For example, you have to sell shoes
Mm-hmm.
and you have to go downtown and eat food.
Yes. Which is why we did those on-site
Yes. Yes.
podcasts, which were good.
Yes.
Yes, I like to support the downtown restaurants. And
Downtown Greensboro, North Carolina.
Correct. I'm excited about where it's going to. It's been some good news too. You know, we talked a little bit about it. Boom, supersonic jet planes are going to be made here. We got.
I'm supposed to lead.
You are. Sorry.
I'm supposed to lead.
Yes. Downtown
Jesus
restaurants
Christ.
are rocking.
This is our first episode in weeks. You said beforehand I'd lead.
I did.
And here you are leading.
I did say you lead. But you led me into it with the restaurants. Oops.
I did. Okay,
You did.
so let me think where we are.
We're
July what?
July 17.
July 17, 2022.
And
Our wonderful friend passed away
Mhm.
tragically. It's
Yeah.
been difficult for us. You're downtown a lot.
yeah, but I mean, we could find something if our lives were. Also, we have a different schedule too. You got a restaurant to run. You got your food truck business. You got reasons that. So I work. I'm like a second shifter.
Yeah.
So you would be ready to go at 5 or 6. 7, 8, 9 at best. So
Do you want to get the news out of the way?
let's do some news.
Let's do some news.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you the biggest thing that's going on right now,
Okay.
news-wise. Are you ready?
I'm ready for what you got.
California is suing Skittles.
Wow, that is big news.
Yes, there's allegedly a toxin inside of like a carcinogen on the exterior of Skittles that allegedly could potentially kill you.
Wow. California, Proposition 65 means everything is going to kill you. You literally have to list everything that could be toxic and everything that's made. These mics, I think glass is not on there. but about everything else.
What's
that's
going on in
Proposition
California?
65. They're a little overprotective.
They're freaking out.
Yeah.
But I can say one thing about Skittles.
Mm-hmm.
They could use me as an exhibit.
Yeah.
The defense could.
Do you eat them every day?
I eat Skittles.
I've eaten them in the past.
I'm fine.
I wouldn't say I've eaten them much. I think this is probably one of those things that supposedly builds up in the system or something. It's BS.
It's BS. I've had enough Skittles.
Yeah.
More than Trayvon Martin.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he was carrying a pack. I don't think
he
had a chance to eat them, but that's a sign that he must eat them.
Right. Trayvon Martin,
lead
the only
seems
person
to be
dying to eat some Skittles.
Yeah, lead seems to be more the important thing.
Lead kills.
Lead kills.
Not the Skittles.
Yes.
Leave Skittles alone.
It's been long enough we can laugh at that, right?
Yeah, it's been long enough. It's been long enough.
Yeah.
Leave Skittles alone.
I agree.
Right? There's some things you don't touch.
So California has a history of, in many ways, leading the world and the country in good things, but sometimes they do go overboard, for sure. Yes.
They go overboard.
They do. I remember, I'm going to have a little thing here. So this is a Leatherman tool here. You've probably heard of them, multi-tools.
I have one.
Okay. This is from a particular collection called Leatherman Free that is 100% made in the USA. So they say that. But all Leatherman in the history of Leatherman tools have been made in Oregon, sometimes using some imported parts. Well, somebody from the state of California sued them. It was a competitor. It was not the state, but it was a competitor. Right. That their tools should not be labeled made in USA because they were using forgings of pliers from Mexico and the files were from Switzerland. And they lost a $10 million lawsuit for that. So that's why they stopped putting country of origin on their packaging. It said Oregon proud. Now it does go with the safe made in USA with domestic and imported components. But for many decades, 20 years plus, they use that because some crazy competitor of theirs.
They sued them for $20 million.
The decision was for $10 million. I don't know what the actual
$10 million.
I don't know what the actual suit was, but that was
what the settlement was.
Yeah.
This is pretty nice.
It is pretty cool. It almost looks Swiss Army knife like in its clean lines. I carry it every day.
I've never seen it.
That's because it's clipped into my pocket.
And you always carry it?
Yep, right there. Woo.
Is that right?
Yep.
That's cool. I always carry a knife. It's over there, but...
Yeah. So it's got... it's also got the locking mechanism here. So if once you pick out the tool you're using, it locks.
That's cool.
So yeah, you have to pop that.
My knife's made in USA.
Cool. What is this?
Grab it.
It's a Benchmade or something?
Benchmade, yes. Yeah. It's a Benchmade knife.
Yeah, excellent quality.
And it's made in USA.
It is. It's made in Oregon.
Is it?
Originally, they were in California, but they decided to move to Oregon because Oregon was more friendly for
This is my all-time favorite knife.
And it is an awesome knife. It's just a little big for my pocket. See, I also carry a Kershaw, which is really small. It's called a Chive.
Why do you carry two?
This one is my knife. It's smaller and more convenient to get out. So, the other one I use for the other tools more.
You have redundant systems.
I do. I have multiple. I have multiple scissors.
Different missions that you're on.
Correct. I have
different. Right.
Yes.
If you're in the woods, if you're in the jungle,
I'm always prepared.
If you're in the Amazon, you need
always prepared.
Right. You got your Leatherman.
Yes.
If you need to build a hut, you got your Leatherman.
Yeah. I have multiple cool tools. We don't want to waste too much time on this, but I have another smaller Leatherman that's TSA compliant. There's no knife on it. That's your bottle opener.
This is nice. I've seen these REI.
Better tweezers than what come on a multi-tool.
Oh.
Of course, flashlight. Seriously nice scissors in case you need better scissors than a multi-knife.
So this is TSA compliant.
Mm-hmm. I will tell you that all the TSA people...
Is that TSA compliant?
Yes.
Really?
Well, you know what it is? They don't notice anything.
Oh, okay.
They never give me a hard time. They give me a hard time about this one because it looks like a knife.
And then you open it up.
And I show them. And one time somebody almost tried to take it from me. He said, "It's up to us." I said, "Well, it's TSA compliant. There's nothing that's out of spec."
So you schooled them.
I schooled them.
You schooled them.
I did it in a nice way. If I was rude, they would have just taken it. But I was nice about it. Then on top of that, if I really need to pry something, I got a pry tool. And lastly, I have a thermometer and a compass.
Yeah,
but I also have...
You have a thermometer and a compass?
Yep.
Now, why would you have a thermometer and a compass?
You never know when you're going to need one. And I have a traditional flathead and Phillips head.
How does the compass?
It's a compass. You just hold it. See?
I can't see.
It rotates.
I can't see where north is.
It'd probably be good if I got the flashlight out. It's a little scuffed.
You get lost with that.
No, you can do it. You aim the flashlight on it and see through it. The thermometer still works, but this works fine. But
it's not a true thermometer because it's in your pocket.
Correct, but if you take it out for a few minutes, it adjusts. Okay. Anyways,
you have a lot of stuff on you.
I do. I'm very prepared.
Basically, you can survive World War III?
Pretty close.
Is that right?
Yeah. The Tesla, I would need some solar to charge my Tesla, though.
Speaking of power...
Yes, I'm making it run long again.
No. Speaking of power, I have a question.
Uh-huh.
Are you ready for this question?
Sure.
So, that MF in Russia, Vladimir Putin, has cut off the pipeline for 10 days for maintenance to rush to Germany.
Germany, yes.
Okay? Is that true, or you think that's just a story?
I think it's true.
Okay. Will they turn it back on?
They want the money from it, so I believe they will. As long as Germany's willing to pay them.
You think they'll jack up the prices even more?
I don't know. Germany, here's a weird thing with Germany. They're going to open coal plants instead of shuttered nuclear plants, which is kind of weird. Nuclear takes longer to ramp up, but it's cleaner.
So they're going to open up shuttered coal plants to make some energy.
To deal with Russia.
And where do they get the coal from?
I think they have sources there domestically. I don't know.
Okay.
It's like we have West Virginia.
Right. And Kentucky.
And Kentucky somewhat. But yeah, West Virginia is the most famous coal state. But yes, Kentucky for sure.
Okay.
So I haven't looked into that. But I'm kind of assuming it's something domestic. Or at least in that region.
Do you think Russia will cut off gas to Europe?
Nah, I don't. Well, and unfortunately, that's why Biden had to go fist bump MBS, right? Because got to try to make sure there's some fuel flowing.
Right. Do you think he got anywhere?
Probably. We'll know months down the road. Because really, Saudi Arabia determines OPEC.
It's funny. We gave them all the potential and the ability, right, to produce oil and be mega wealthy.
Yep.
Because 100 years ago, they were nothing.
They were nothing.
They were just a bunch of people riding
camels
in the desert.
Yeah, pretty much.
Playing flutes or whatever they do, right? Oh, they play flutes?
I think they have some kind of they have little string instruments, and there's probably some flutes.
No, isn't that in Australia?
That sound you were making is in Australia.
Okay, that's Australia.
Yeah.
So we made them.
I mean, that is one of the older civilizations near Egypt and stuff.
Right. So then they went from camels to Gulf Streams,
Mm-hmm.
and now they're fucking the world.
Yeah. When they're the
gas
financiers
prices.
behind Lucid electric cars, and when Elon joked that he was going to take Tesla private at $4.20 a share, financing secured, it was with the sovereign wealth fund of Saudi Arabia. Is why it was secured, and that group is the one that's the primary investor in Lucid, which is why Lucid's second factory is going to be in Saudi Arabia. I don't know. At least that's the word. But you know, it's complicated. So MBS is in many ways he's much more modern and progressive than his father and uncle and all that.
Giving rights to women.
Yes, correct. Let them
So,
drive
right,
and
let
things
them
like
drive,
that.
right, so on and so forth.
Right, but this
Let them have
Khashoggi
jobs.
thing was just
But
terrible.
the Khashoggi thing was exactly.
Yeah, so I mean,
That was just business.
that would be the argument.
That
on
was
their
bad
part.
business.
Bad
Bad
business,
business,
yeah.
but it was business, right?
Right. So,
Guess he didn't want somebody talking shit about his
well,
country.
Yeah, but also he's one of the younger sons, if not the youngest son.
29, 30 years old.
Right, and so how he sort of obtained power is kind of a little fishy. His dad, I guess, is very old if he's still around, even like in his 90s.
His dad's around.
I think it is
King Solomon or something like that.
Right, and he sort of gained power because it was a power struggle. Like he was in charge of the military or something. I go look it up. I won't waste your time. But anyways, so how he got into power was a little iffy. So, but he is giving women rights more so than they.
So
have.
then, is it safe for you and I to visit Saudi Arabia?
For us, I don't see why not.
Yeah. Is it safe?
Yeah.
Because Americans go there, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't see a problem going there. Better than going to Iran or Iraq or something.
Would you go to Saudi Arabia?
It would not be on my list of wanting to go places, but I wouldn't have a problem if
Right.
like there was some opportunity where
Right.
someone was taking me there or something.
I'd probably go to see what was up.
Again, it wouldn't be my top priority. I think of many places I'd prefer to go first.
Yes.
But would I go if I was invited and someone was paying for it? Sure. But I'm not going to spend my money to go there. That wouldn't be my top priority.
I understand. So, you want to talk about Germany?
Sure.
Since we have friends
Since
in
we're,
Germany.
and we're already on Germany a little bit with the coal plants and
That's
such.
right. That's right. So, my friend Marcus Reno is still making this podcast with our buddy Udo.
Right, which we celebrated in your living room.
Yes, we did.
On one of our
He
podcasts.
he every Tuesday evening he has a new podcast that comes out, and it is straight up legit and professional. It really is.
It's good for him.
Ours is just kind of like we're talking.
It's a hobby.
Well, it's a hobby. Well, maybe there's a hobby, but at least theirs is completely professional.
Right.
Ours is like we're taping ourselves talking
Yeah.
about nothing.
Usually we're talking about quite a bit.
Yes.
Ours happens to be fairly interesting to the few people that do actually
To your mom.
listen to it.
To your mom.
Das likes it.
Das likes it. Uh-huh.
And then there's the guy with the weird on-screen names, Spectre.
Oh, yes.
whatever.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Hello, Spectre.
Yes.
Actually, here's another piece of news.
Uh-huh.
The James Webb Telescope.
Yes.
Have you read about that?
Yeah, amazing photos we're getting already.
So, do you know how far back in the time it can see?
Billions of years. I don't remember the number.
13 billion years. How
And there-
old is the universe?
I know. Well, we don't.
13.8.
We don't really know.
We're
It's
guesstimating at 13.8.
something like that.
So
Big boom.
13.8. So it can see 13 billion years into the past.
I know why they go with the big boom. It's something that we can sort of say there's evidence for. I'm not absolutely sure that is it. But you listen to Carl.
I listen to Carl. You know what Carl says?
Yeah. What's Carl say about the big boom?
Carl says, why does there have to be a beginning?
That's my point. Exactly.
Right? Why does there have to be a beginning?
Done. It's just because we're man. We want to make a beginning.
The universe is always...
It's always going to exist.
He says the universe is what it always was, is, and will be.
Yes. We have limited lifetimes, so therefore we try to place time on everything.
Right. And we try to find an answer, a concrete answer, and maybe...
Which is good. That creates innovation and striving for things. So
can you try to get Neil deGrasse Tyson on for next week?
That would be cool. I don't know
that would
I have
be
the
cool,
connection.
right?
I don't know that I have
Could
the
you imagine
connection.
having Neil deGrasse Tyson here?
Our podcast would blow up.
It would blow up here in my kitchen with the Fruit Loops back here.
You know what? He likes good food. Maybe invite him for lasagna.
Some lasagna. We got Fruit Loops.
Yeah.
We can make him a Romertoff.
Okay.
Like last week we had Romertoff, right?
Yeah, that was amazing.
But I think we need...
I think the Romertoff is a little healthier.
It's healthier than what we had tonight.
Yes. So we explain them what a Romertoff is.
Explain what a Romertoff is.
Well, it's an
I'll go get
earthenware.
it.
Yeah, okay.
I'll go get it.
So it's a form of German earthenware that you cook in, and it does a nice job of maintaining the moisture and heat while you cook it. And you can cook with almost no fat. And
Yes.
you get this wonderfully rich, delicious result.
So you put your vegetables in here, and your meat,
See how it's kind of shiny? It's
Right.
sealed up there.
right? Because there's a
glaze.
non-stick glaze on here, okay? And it's made in a little village called Runsbach, and a gentleman named Frank owns it. He has a crazy last name, so I can't pronounce it. His name's Frank.
You do better with German than I do, that's for sure.
His name's crazy. So anyway, you put your ingredients in here, no water, no nothing.
Yep.
And then what you do is you soak the top in water. You put water in
Yes,
there.
and it's not glazed. You
Right,
say.
it's not glazed. And you soak it for 30 minutes. You dump out the water. You have all of your ingredients in here. And then all you do is you put it in here with this soaking wet on top with your ingredients, and you put it in the oven.
And you roast it. It's
And
like
you
a
roast
It's
it.
like a wet roasting.
But watch this.
Uh-huh.
It's at 350 for an hour, but you start the oven cold.
Okay, I did not know
You don't
that.
preheat
Interesting.
like you do a lasagna.
Uh-huh.
You start cold.
So it's gradually...
Yes,
Is that-
and this is the Romertoff.
Yeah, that was awesome.
It's a real deal, man.
That was so delicious.
And this stuff,
That would get Neil deGrasse Tyson here, right?
that would get Neil deGrasse.
Neil, if you're out there,
Neil, come visit us.
visit us.
Please.
Get some great food.
Hashtag we love Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yes. And we want better explanation of the Webb telescope.
Yes. It actually, the reason it works so well is because
It's very far away.
1,000,000 miles away from the Earth,
Yeah.
so it's cold.
Right.
It's like negative
and
400
it's further
degrees.
away from the light of the sun too.
Right.
Right.
And it reads, it captures the redshift of the universe because it's going away. So as it's going away, you get a redshift. So that's why it's getting it's actually taking pictures.
Well, it takes
of
so
that
much
spectrum.
faster too. So somebody was pointing out like how much better it was than of course the Hubble. But I'm like we would have never had the Webb if we didn't have the Hubble. The Hubble was proof of concept, right? Proving that it was worth spending all that money to create the James Webb telescope.
Could you imagine being able to see almost to the beginning of time?
Yeah, pretty crazy. And they're capturing these in like days instead of months.
Yes.
How will we take like months to capture images?
Can you imagine? I mean, what they're seeing?
Yeah. Yeah, they say this is just a teaser.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
What will they find in 6 months or a year?
Well, you know, I mean, to some degree, there's only so much you can discover planet-wise, but you can learn a lot about stars and galaxies.
But there's actually a problem. Okay, so say, for example, if you find a civilization 20 million light years away.
Yeah.
You find them.
Yeah.
You see them.
Are they still there?
Are they still there? And if they are, you send them a message, hey, how's it going?
It's another...
And it takes 20 million years for them to reply.
That's right.
So it's 40 million years round trip.
Yeah.
Who the hell's going to be around? We could be dead by then.
Right. So another Carl Sagan quote is, I don't know if this is a quote or a paraphrase, but and the idea is if there is intelligent life in the universe, his saying would be, if there's not, it's an awful waste of space.
That's right. If we're all alone.
If we're all alone, it's an awful waste of space.
It's an awful waste of space, yes.
So I think he's absolutely on target there. But the chances that we actually have aliens visiting us, not happening.
No.
And will we probably ever visit intelligent life? Probably not.
Shit's too far away.
Yeah. So that's sort of Elon's trying to create this sort of consciousness extension plan with the lifeboat on Mars sort of deal.
Well, I mean, he's wanting to go to Mars. I hope he goes to Mars.
It's complicated. You got weight, all the gravitational differences, not much atmosphere, radiation, things like that. But the idea is over a long enough period of time, and this is where we need Neil deGrasse Tyson, because he could explain how terraforming would work, probably.
How can we get him on the show?
I don't know, but man, we could change our whole show.
How can we get him on the show? You're the smart one here. Yeah. You tell me.
Twitter. I don't know. Hey, Neil, we got a cool show.
Why don't we just call him?
Because do we have his number? He has an agent. He probably has an agent.
We need to call his agent.
Yeah. Must have an agent.
They say, hey, will you come and hang out in our kitchen?
We got some great food.
Come hang out in our kitchen.
You'd like Greensboro. It's a cool little city.
Yes, Neil, please come.
We got a great, wonderful little natural science center here. It even has one of those old school planetarium things.
He could give a speech there.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, it'd be cool.
But honestly,
they got a zoo and everything.
I don't care about that. I want him here.
I know. I'm just trying to entice him.
Here in my kitchen.
You know, I'm just trying to entice him.
Right. Come, yeah. I think he would probably want like a first class ticket on Delta. And stay at the O. Henry Hotel.
Yeah, if he would
That's
come,
probably that.
If he'd come, I think we could pull that off.
I would pay for it, man. I would scrape my money together.
Yes, we could probably pull it off.
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yes,
he's a smart guy.
He is. He's a lot more engaging than Carl was. Like I mean, in energy wise, Carl was much more subdued.
Yes, Carl was more intellectual, but Carl was also
he's definitely
a humanitarian and a philosopher.
Yeah, he was definitely an introvert though.
Right.
Whereas
Neil deGrasse Tyson is like an all-star,
high energy
cosmologist.
Yeah, he's like a high energy dude.
Yeah, it's like.
But it's kind of cool that he took over for Carl in many ways.
The story.
He's a big fan of.
The story between he and Carl.
No, I don't.
You don't.
No.
Let me tell you a story.
Or maybe I do and I forgot about
it. When Neil deGrasse Tyson was in college, he was walking home in the snow, and Carl Sagan stopped and said, "Hey, you want to ride?" Sure.
Did he know who he was?
No.
Just a guy.
Not
even hitchhiking.
Gives him a ride to his house. Carl Sagan and his wife make him dinner.
Huh.
And then take him home. And actually, this was in high school. Later on, when he was in college, he was in his astronomy class.
Wow. That's amazing. No wonder
Isn't that
he
nuts?
was inspired by Carl.
So he's like a disciple of Carl Sagan.
Yeah, wow, that's really cool. I had not heard that. It's really cool.
So we covered Cocksucker Russia. Mm-hmm. We covered James Webb Telescope. We covered Skittles.
Yeah, loss of our friend.
Loss of our friend, which I actually...
mourning.
Pardon me?
And mourning that.
And mourning that. I actually have a gift from him that you could grab. Grab that gin. Aviator gin. Aviation gin. Mm-hmm. This is what our friend gave us. We can put it right here. That's awesome.
Is that because you are an aviator?
That is because, well, he had given this to me as a gift, and I never opened it because I don't drink gin. But one day we will have to drink it. We'll have to find a recipe that tastes good with gin.
Gin and tonic.
Gin and tonic.
My dad makes them. They're pretty good.
Yeah. So this is a gift from my friend.
Schweppes or something.
Schweppes, yes. This is a gift from my friend. Right here it is. Aviation gin.
And again, is that related to the fact that you guys would go on trips?
Yes.
Airplane?
He loved airplanes, yes. He loved airplanes.
Big fan of planes.
Yes. What else you want to talk about?
Well,
and we talked about Marcus Reno and his podcast.
Right. So, I mean, there's, in North Carolina news, there's a lot of big growth potential going on here in the Triad, which is nice. With Boom and Toyota,
which we discussed, and
Toyota, and just a couple days ago, a company that makes high tech prefab building components. They're going to put their U.S. headquarters here. So you would it's a way to do quick building that's really secure. They actually there was one in the Bahamas where they had a Category 5 hurricane come through. You couldn't even tell the house, but everything around it was messed up. So
I actually have a story to tell you.
Yeah.
How much time do we have here?
Let's try to try to end it if it's getting
32 minutes.
Okay, that's good.
We're okay, right?
We're good, but I do like the idea of keeping it under 45.
Okay.
So you tell a good story.
Tell maybe a 7-minute story.
Cool.
So about 5 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago, I went to Chicago to help a friend fix a swimming pool. Okay.
The one that I've met that specializes in
Berthold, yes.
German buddy.
He's in Germany. He called me up. He's like, Greg, there's a problem. Go fix this.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, give me your guy and we'll figure it out. So we're going to figure it out, right? So I had a very interesting interaction with a young girl.
Okay.
So then this young girl calls me up about a taco truck event. Okay?
Okay.
And she starts asking me questions, so on and so forth. And I'm sitting in the parking lot. And
you're in Chicago at this point?
I'm in Chicago. I'm in a parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, I can't do it. But let me give you the name and numbers of the people who can do it. So I'm looking on my phone. I'm like, call this person, here's their number. Mm-hmm. Call this person, here's their number. She says to me, can you just text it to me? And I said, no. I said, grab a piece of paper and a pencil and write it down the old-fashioned way.
Or put notes in your phone.
Yeah, you can put notes in your phone, right?
Yeah.
But I'm like, do it the old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
Right? Pen and paper. But she says to me, just text it to me. So that tells me that there's less communication. She doesn't have to hear me say 3 or 4 different names, 3 or 4 different phone numbers, blah, blah, blah. She's like, text it to me.
Uh-huh.
I didn't want to text it to her.
That is sort of how people do things these days.
But I didn't want to take the time.
Like old school. You're offering to help her.
It's like, you know what I said to her?
You're offering to
I'm
help
going to
her.
teach you an old school skill. So I said to her, I'm going to teach you something. How to write down stuff. I did. She's like 22 years old. Her name was like Taylor.
Yeah.
Taylor.
No, I'm saying this is how they do it these days.
Yeah.
But good for you.
Yeah. No,
You're doing her a favor.
Yes. And then a week prior to that, I had another experience. It was a communication experience, right? Because that's what these are. They're about communication.
Sure.
I was in Brevard, North Carolina. Okay. And so I had to buy some bags of ice for our refreshments because we're at a taco truck event. And so there was this nice, older black man who was working at the convenience store. Very clean cut, slim, nice black man. And so when you look at somebody, you can kind of tell what you got.
Yeah.
Off the top of your hand, right?
You can.
You can tell. So I could tell just by looking.
The saying that in a picture worth 1,000 words.
Yes.
Frequently true, but also they have the saying you can't judge a book by a cover.
You cannot. So, like for me, for example, people might think I was a bum. They're right, but I'm not.
You like your semi-retired long hair.
Yeah, I'm not dressed up nice like you are. Wearing nice shirts.
You're a high-class guy that has a Mercedes key.
Right, I have a Mercedes key.
It might go to.
I don't know which Mercedes it goes to, but it
has a key.
It goes to somebody's car, right?
Yeah, right.
So then I pull up and I walk inside and I say to this nice man, I said, I need to buy 4 bags of ice. I'll be right back. No, I said I need to buy some bags of ice, but I don't know how many.
Okay.
I think maybe 4, but I'm not sure. He says, where are you parked? I said, back there. He says, pull up here so I can see you. I'm like, okay, he's a stern, conservative, older gentleman, right? Which I respect. I understand that. Fine.
Right.
So then I said, okay, I'm just going to see how many bags I need, right, to fill up his coolers. He was like, pay me first. And I said, how can I pay you first? I don't know if I'm going to take 4 or 5 or 6. I just don't know. He says, I've seen a lot of fishy stuff here, at the convenience store because he worked there for a long time, or in the business for a long time.
In the mountains, there's a lot of fishy stuff.
Right. And so I said to him, I said, sir, oops, that's okay. I said, sir, if I was going to steal something, it wouldn't be ice. So I said to him, I was pissed at this point, right? Because he's judging me for like a potential crook, right? So I said, here's $100 bill.
Just hold on to it.
Hold on to my $100 bill. I'm gonna get some ice. And goddamn if he didn't hold on to it.
Good for him.
I got 4 bags of ice.
Cool.
Right? So it's interesting how different generations, you have different interactions.
For sure.
The older generation's one way, and the younger generation's a different way.
Yeah. Life experiences, some of it's your generation you come from. Some of it's just life experience, too. I mean, the 22-year-old in 40 years might have a different approach. She might want you to write it down, too.
That's right.
Who knows? Writing may become a big thing in the future.
Writing?
Yeah.
You gotta write stuff down.
2060.
My gosh.
2062? Yeah, writing may be really trendy then. Vinyl albums are coming back, right?
Yeah, like calligraphy.
Yeah, there you go. Calligraphy might be a trend.
Like calligraphy.
Of course, it's probably going to be on a digital pad.
Yes, a digital
pad.
pad.
Opposed to paper, maybe. But.
So I have a pop question for you.
I did think of a bit of news that
Okay.
goes back to not our last podcast, but one of the previous ones. not long before that, Elon Musk was going to buy Twitter, and of course this week or last week he announced he's not.
He's not.
He doesn't want to.
And Twitter wants to sue him.
Yes.
What's up with that?
Well, the market's down, their value's down. They're like, let's get some money out of this. This is really all about the top executives on the board because they're the ones that have most shares and they get the money. But he's like, you guys have not provided me with solid evidence of how many average bots. So like you get a spam phone call, right? I use Twitter, and Twitter says that only 5% of all users are bots. And it's clear it's way more than that. And they haven't proven that and given him any evidence of that. And he's like, I have some cool, he's thinking, I have some cool ideas to make this thing better and all this stuff, but I don't want to rebuild the whole company. It make more sense to start from scratch. So he says, seems to think that there's enough in the original agreement related to that he can get out of it without spending too much. But most of the mainstream media, like business media things, say, well, business judges in Delaware, which is where this kind of is supposed to be, tend to force people to try to go through with stuff. Or have big settlements. So it would be interesting to see. But yeah, so that was something we were talking about.
I think I think Musk has the right to say, I don't want to do this.
Yeah. I mean, FTC, Federal Trade Commission. One of the things about publicly held companies is when you talk about a merger or this or that, things of that nature, it affects how people spend their money to invest in it. So they're pretty strict about not being whimsical. So that would be the thing against him, is it affects all these other people that had stock and that stock went down, or they bought it anticipating a purchase at $44 a share and it's $30-something a share or whatever. But I'm like, that's part of the game, man. That's why when you invest, it's always a risk.
Always a risk.
So don't get upset because you jumped on there thinking you're going to get all this money from Elon, and then he says, I'm not buying it. That's on you. You're the one that took that risk.
That's on you. I agree.
So I think you should be able to get out of it. But
I agree with you.
Anyways, focus on really what's at hand. Building great cars and cool rockets.
So, are you ready for the pop
question? Yes.
Pop question.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so, in your lifetime, and please don't fuck up this question.
I'm good at fucking up pop questions. Except for the first one.
Except for the first one.
The first one I nailed.
Good job.
Yes, I nailed the first one.
In your lifetime, what do you think is the most significant invention that we've had?
In my lifetime.
In your lifetime, the most significant invention. This is a thinking man's question right here. So, this isn't a bullshit question.
Yeah, so some of this would be related to at what level do we consider an advanced microprocessor as having been developed? Because the basic transistor was before I was born, but I believe I would say the microprocessor allows computing.
Microprocessor.
Yes.
Yeah, like Texas Instruments, whatever. Right.
We don't have that without that.
Right. Okay. So then you're drilling down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That single invention, which basically Intel would be the first producer of the modern concept of what a microprocessor computer on a chip is. So I mean, it just changed the world. We couldn't be doing this podcast without him.
So I think you're right. Mm-hmm. However, my answer was not as...
Yours was more fun?
Mine was more like... not as intellectual as yours.
What's yours?
You held it up, the iPhone.
Okay.
You held
An
it
end
up.
result of mine.
Yes. I think the iPhone in my lifetime is probably the most significant invention. I mean, there's a lot of
as
them.
an end-using device, I would agree with you.
Because it's changed the world.
The chip doesn't do anything unless it's in a device.
Right.
So in that sense, as a usable device, I would agree with you.
The iPhone.
Yeah.
It has.
Yeah. Steve Jobs pulling that little thing out of his pocket. Oh, and one more thing. What if you could do this? You could take a phone
And a
computer,
merge them,
and a digital communication device, and somehow you could take a digital communication device and a phone and a computer, and you could make something like this.
Yes.
The iPhone. If we were really good at this, we could pull up the video. If we were really advanced and like Marcus, he's probably professional enough to have a video of an audio take on it. Well, it's good. It's good to be back.
Good to be back, man.
Yes. Try to get back on that once a week thing at least.
Once a week schedule. So, greetings to our friends in Germany.
For sure.
Marco Reno, and Udo, and
Marco and Udo.
Udo, and everybody in Wassernisch. Runsbach Bumbach. Greetings to our friend who left this with us.
Yes.
Hope
you are doing well in the
afterlife.
Afterlife.
Right.
The ether that is.
That's a tough deal.
That's a tough one.
That's a tough deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a tough deal. But this is what we have left of him is a bottle of aviation gin.
Let's toast the gin.
Toast the gin. Toast the gin. And I'm glad you're well.
I am.
I'm glad you're here.
I'm glad you were well, and it's good to have the real Breg back.
Yes.
I was a little worried about this guy.
I'm 50%. I'm 50% back.
Yes.
I'm seemingly 100%, but it's really 50.
Yes.
Or less. I'm not sure.
I think you're at least 50.
But I'm still traumatized.
Something to deal with.
Yeah, I'm traumatized. But I'm glad you're here. Thank you for the podcast. It was only 47 minutes long, so we were on time. We did
Very good.
It was cool.
It was a lot of fun.
Thank you. Had fun.
Mm-hmm. It was a lot of fun.
It was cool.
Thank you for the dinner that I'm still going to be stuffed with tomorrow.
Yes.
It was so filling, but
Yes.
delicious.
That was good.
It was very good.
All right. Well, thank you very much for watching.
Peace out.
Peace out. If you like our show, subscribe to it wherever the button is.
On the bottom left.
Bottom left. John's in charge of digital media. I'm in charge of putting
thumbs up also.
Yes.
Give us thumbs up.
I'm in charge of this piece. He's in charge of all of the digital marketing
media
stuff.
stuff.
Media.
Yes.
He's CEO of media.
Yeah.
So, see you guys next time. Auf Wiedersehen. Good night.
Good night.
Bye.